Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. I just hurt my finger, so sorry if I'm like a little bit distracted. I was like moving my leg and for some reason my hand was behind my back and it like smashed into my fingers and now it hurts. So there's amazing news that happened, got it, but people are reporting it as if other things didn't already happen. You'll see what I'm talking about. For some reason, within the cryptocurrency space, there seems to be a gigantic tendency for people to talk about news as if the news didn't happen or that something else like it already didn't take place. You might remember a couple of months ago, there were multiple news stories of things happening with Bitcoin, accumulation, all these other things. And a lot of articles were like, this has never happened before. And I was like, no, it's happened like multiple times, like in constant sequence. So the amazing news is Italy's largest bank, they're called Intesa Sanpaolo, announced that they this was a month ago, 2 months ago, that they were thinking of getting into Bitcoin. They liked Bitcoin. There was some skepticism, but they thought that Bitcoin was like awesome. They recently announced that they've acquired 11 Bitcoin, adding it to their portfolio, which is nothing to scoff at. Even if it was 1 Bitcoin, that's still incredible. Even if it was 3 Bitcoin, you know, the symbolism is definitely there, especially as we begin to get rumors that a lot of banks within the United States will also soon be able to legally acquire and deal with Bitcoin as well. This is side topic, but is also very relevant. You might remember this was 2018, 2019, and I dare say some 2020 in there as well. We got news that apparently there were, I think, over 100 banks within the United States who were looking to get into Bitcoin. You might remember the old news stories. They were going to create their own cryptocurrency trading desks or offer it to their clients. Or what was the other one? Like the banks would be buying the Bitcoin themselves. You might remember I was always like, well, you can't offer someone Bitcoin unless you yourself have also been buying it. It's literally impossible. So I was like, I would assume back then a lot of these banks were buying up hundreds, if not thousands of Bitcoin, because if some heavy-handed investor comes in and he wants to, deal on your platform, as a bank, you can't go, oopsie daisy, we got no more. So I assume a lot of accumulation was happening. And then for some reason that news kind of disappeared. And I would assume it had to probably do a lot with, and I say this in no uncertain terms, with Gary Gensler and the SEC. We know that some members of the SEC weren't monsters, but mainly Gary Gensler was kind of crazy. And that was one of the pivotal points when we started hearing about the Bitcoin ETFs. For those of you who do not remember, one of the largest portions of the news was that it would allow not only you to have another form of Bitcoin, if you will, I'm air quoting to heaven right now, another version of Bitcoin in a securitized manner for you to be able to accumulate it, but it would also be businesses and also banks. Does anyone in the class remember last summer what happened? This is why I said this happened, cool, but also people were pretending like this was the first time this ever took place. We had news last summer that the Bank for International Settlements, or the Bank of International, I don't really care, BIS, that's what they're called, released a survey where they announced that they had asked a number of central banks if they owned Bitcoin. And a number of them, like 9 or something, were like, they refused to answer. They were like, I'm sorry, we're not home right now. But over a dozen came forward. You can find it. Type in BIS Bitcoin Bank Survey sometime last year. And we found out that apparently each individual bank is holding billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And some of them were actually doing it through the ETFs as well. We've also had news from a number of other banks around the world who've also been accumulating large amounts of Bitcoin for a while, and also XRP, but that's another topic in its entirety. So when this news came out that the largest bank in Italy has been buying Bitcoin, everyone was like, this is the first bank ever. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's been happening for a number of years. Remember, we had news years ago. This was from a side from, what's the guy's name? Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon, the guy who is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He announced, or rather JP Morgan announced, that they think that like Bitcoin's prospectus for the future was very high, and then other banks were already beginning to accumulate it. We also had a situation where, for those of you who missed it, one of the heads of Deutsche Bank, the largest German bank, said that Bitcoin could potentially become 21st century gold. Now, you might remember that one, and then also have forgotten that we also heard from the head of the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, both stating that they thought that Bitcoin was going to be a world currency. And then you might have also forgot that Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, said he expects Bitcoin. Yeah, remember? Yes, all coming back now. He said that he expects Bitcoin's market cap to exceed that of all real estate within the United States. He's expecting Bitcoin's market cap in the next few years to go over 50 trillion US dollars. So we've had many cases before where banks and institutions have heaped praise onto Bitcoin constantly. And we've been getting rumors, wink, of banks around the world buying large amounts of Bitcoin, but people continue. I don't know what it is. I think it's because there's so much happening always at the same time that I think it's difficult to keep stock of what's been said. And I also think you have a lot of new people getting into the space as well who don't know a lot of the history of the space. So when they hear something like this, they go, this is the first time ever. Because to be completely fair, we should be celebrating a lot more the things that actually happen within this space. We hear that a company buys a Bitcoin, people cheer. Another company buys 12 Bitcoin. People no longer cheer for the 1 Bitcoin. People hear that a company has 8,000 Bitcoin. They cheer for the 8,000. The 12 Bitcoin's kind of completely passé. It's not enough anymore. A company buys 22,000 Bitcoin. The other one is like, oh, you tried. That's kind of cool. People forget to add up all these numbers together. So even now, when you hear that MicroStrategy is nearing 500,000 Bitcoin, when some of you heard this bank bought 11 Bitcoin and you went, oh, that's cool. There's not enough Bitcoin for everyone on the planet. There's not enough Bitcoin for every millionaire and billionaire. There's not enough Bitcoin for every bank on the planet. Nonetheless, institutions and hedge funds and companies. So it's very, I mean, like I said, it's cool, but it's also very symbolic that like a bank openly came out and was like, yeah, we're doing it because all the other banks have done so in secret. Remember when we were also getting all those SEC filings last year of all the other banks and institutions who actively are holding shares of Bitcoin ETFs and also holding Bitcoin. But it wasn't enough for people because it wasn't as fancy as MicroStrategy having back then 200,000 something Bitcoin. So yeah, the accumulation continues. And it probably will be continuing for a forever. I don't know what word I should have actually put there, but yeah, the world is changing very rapidly. And I hope that you change along with it because I've recently been in a couple of situations where I've discussed the prospectus of Bitcoin, not only now, but in 2025 and also the years coming. And I was met with not stares, but near silence because they simply did not give a fudge about anything that I was saying. So similar to many years ago when I told people about art, when I told people about crypto and all of its entirety, and everyone, not everyone, I know you didn't, hopefully, ignored me. Well, here we are again. So my belief is that when Bitcoin goes to $1 million per coin, there's going to be some interesting stuffs happening in people's brains when they realize that they've kind of, and it's not even missed, but they passed by the opportunity early on. And then when Bitcoin goes to 1 million, last point, people will still have this mentality. It's at 1 million. I'm not going to get any. It goes to 25 million a coin, and they'll go, should have got some at 1 million, as opposed to buying some at 25 million. It'll go to 78 million, and they'll go, should have got some at 20. And this cycle will continue forever because people sometimes just don't listen. I think that's going to do it for this video. Banks and institutions are buying nonstop. So are governments. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching the video, liking the video, commenting on the video, and subscribing to the channel video. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.